Guys, how's it going? Rudy here, the science editor and researcher for Mi40. Today we're going to discuss the importance of refeeds, why they might be important, where you might be going wrong with them, and how you can implement them successfully to help you during a dieting period. So following on from the last video, we kind of touched on how dieting or something chronic may affect your body and your metabolism. So refeeds are kind of one popular way to combat this. One issue with a lot of refeeds in kind of the fitness world, or what people recommend, is just one-day refeeds or even one meal refeeds. And while it sounds like a good idea, and people say it's going to help with your metabolism, it's going to help improve your hormones and bring them back up, there's not actually any kind of research to support just the effects of one meal on your actual baseline hormones. So the only research that we've kind of come across is more chronic refeeds. So this might be, it's not for weeks, but maybe 3 days or 4 days or 5 days or a week. So when they've researched this, they've put people in deficits, calorie deficits. They've kind of trained them really hard, deprived them of sleep. So really kind of pushed their bodies dug their bodies and really pushed them, much like you might do during a kind of hardcore diet or contest prep. Lots of training, less nutrients, less calories, maybe less sleep, more stress. So all these similar factors, and then they've refed them. So one study, they used a 3-day refeed, and they found that it nearly kind of wiped out the downregulation in metabolism. So they did 11 days of dieting and then a 3-day refeed back at baseline. So they weren't in a surplus, they just took them back to their starting baseline. And over the period of this study, their metabolism was much better at the end. So the guys that just dieted chronically, so just diet, their metabolism dropped by about 100 calories over 6 weeks. Whereas the guys that refed only saw about a 40 calorie drop, so that's much better than the 100. And obviously this was only 6 weeks, so if you're doing a contest prep for 12 or 15 weeks, you're going to have a kind of bigger drop in metabolism. They also found, even though people were refeeding for 3 days, that they still lost the same amount of weight, if not slightly more. So even though they were bringing calories back to baseline for some period of time, they would successfully lost more weight, slightly more weight than the guys that just dieted chronically. So by implementing regular refeeds, it might allow you to be slightly more severe with the deficit. I'm not saying another 500 calories. Say you maybe dropped your calories by 400 normally, you might be able to push that to 500 or 600 calories if you're planning to refeed regularly. So there's lots of different ways to do it. Like I say, one study's kind of proven 11-day diet, 3-day refeeds, which can be quite good. You could, maybe every fortnight you can have Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then there's other studies that have done a bit longer, so they might do like a 4-week diet and then a 1 week, so a whole week refeed in at baseline. So this is another strategy you can use as well. So diet as normal for 4 weeks. You might be able to get calories slightly lower than what you maybe normally do because you're going to have a week off. And another great kind of use of a refeed is to bring up weak body parts. So say you kind of got a contest in 15 weeks time and there's 1 or 2 body parts that are really lagging, then you can kind of do a mini overreach on those body parts when you're doing the refeed. So obviously the extra calories, nutrients, they're going to help support that growth and that kind of mini overreach. So this is one possible strategy why using refeeds. So just in summary, whenever you're dieting, try not to do kind of a 15-week diet where you're in a deficit every day. Make sure you've got enough time that during that phase you've got you can throw in the odd week where you're back at maintenance or even in a slight surplus. This isn't going to affect you're not going to gain a ton of fat. As long as you're kind of around your baseline, you're not going to gain any fat. And as I said, it means you can maybe go slightly kind of harder during the dieting weeks. So it's not actually going to slow your weight loss down over the kind of time course. So just play around with it. Obviously allow yourself enough time and kind of use trial and error, see what you prefer. Some people might want to do 2-week diet, 4-day refeed. Some people might want to do a bit longer, so 4 or 5 weeks of a diet, but then say a 1 week refeed.